And this guy here, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, wants to shut down Bitcoin and crypto. And guess who is participating in BlackRock's ETF? JP Morgan.
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, etc. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, and that is a use case because it is somewhat anonymous, not fully, and because you can move money instantaneously, and because it doesn't go through, as you mentioned, all these systems have built up over many years, know your customer, sanctions, OFAC, they can get bypass all of that. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
And with that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? We've told you time and time again, don't listen to the leaders, don't listen to the bankers, because Bitcoin is direct competition with the banks. They don't like Bitcoin because they want to keep their control. Don't listen to any of that. So the Bitcoin Bros is coming back to you with another video. There's a lot going on. As you see that there is the ETF trending on the Bitcoin ETF. There's a lot of speculation. This could happen tomorrow. This could happen within the next week. This could happen very, very soon. Arthur Hayes looks very excited. He's saying green dojis for the new year. He's saying let's go. At the current time it's recording, Bitcoin's coming in right below 45,000 at 44,849. And look at Bitcoin has this continuation pattern that we've been looking at, and we measured this out for you, and you see that we just came in and just hit our head in this symmetrical triangle. Now this is on the daily, so the technical target for this is all the way up to about $51,000 to $52,000. Could Bitcoin have a continuation if they get the ETF approval? That's definitely a possibility, as that could have a huge green candle that could take us all the way up here within a day or two. That could definitely happen, so don't discount it. Let's see if the ETF news comes out tomorrow, sometime in the next week. We'll see. Time will tell. Solana's still looking pretty bullish and maybe has another leg to the upside. $110 at the current time it's recording. This is on the weekly chart. Remember, we told you once we see this purple line cross back below the yellow line, that might be a local peak, a little bit of cooling off that will need to come for Solana. Blunt's Capital is talking about this, a beautiful rounding pattern that's forming against Solana. Would not be surprised to see some high time frame sideways on this before next mind-blowing parabolic legs. He's calling for a huge run to the upside in the short to midterm for Solana. Bitcoin dominance at the current time it's recording is at 52%. We've showed you this in previous videos. The trend has broken. This upward trend has broken down. Could we come up and hit the lower level of this before having a continuation to the downside? Yes, the RSI is now in a downtrend, putting in lower lows and lower highs. Keep that in mind. Total 3 minus USDT over Bitcoin. This is still had breaking to the upside. We had this symmetrical triangle, this rounding bottom that we've showed you before, and on the DEMA indicator we're getting a long call on the weekly. This definitely looks bullish. RSI looks bullish. Just looks bullish for altcoins in the overall crypto market. We could see massive moves to the upside, so be patient. An update from Stock Money Lizards. What he's saying is current Bitcoin pattern. Everyone expecting to see a sell the news event for the penny ETF applications. The triangle tells a different story. And look at here. You have an uptrend into a consolidation period, and then the trend continues. We had the uptrend into this consolidation period, and right now at the current time it's recording, we actually broke out of this upper bound right here. So this trend should be a continuation to the upside, and this will not be a sell the news event. Not 100%, you get to be patient and wait, but looks like it's more indicative to have a continuation to the upside versus downside. Once again, be patient. Pompliano weighs in. He's saying his advice is to go into the Bitcoin spot ETF approval with low expectations. If things go well and Bitcoin's price rises, you'll be pleasantly surprised. If things don't go well and Bitcoin price goes down, you will have expected it. So either way you cut the cloth. If you're in the game, you got some skin in the game, price goes up, your portfolio goes up, and all things go up. It's going to pull the market up with it. But also, look here. If the price goes down, don't get bummed. Look at it as an opportunity. If we do go down to the 30s again, look at it as a buying opportunity. All dips are made for buying opportunities. Switch your mindset, and then you will no longer be a retail trader or the dumb money, what the big whales are calling you. And then another update from CryptoCon. He's calling for a pullback. He's looking for a 30% correction, somewhere approximately in the 30K range. Anywhere between 30 and 35,000. That's what he's calling for based off the trend. The trend's your friend to the end. DMI overheat and support on the weekly. Going into these levels, we always see a correction. We haven't seen that correction yet for this cycle. And could we see this pullback to this upwards trend? And how low will that go? Will it go to 35, 30,000? Either way, like we told you, it's a buying opportunity. So keep this in mind. We're going to go back to Arthur Hayes. We have an excerpt from him and what he's saying, something that could happen to the stablecoin market. Let's hear what Arthur has to say.
So I'll use Tether as an example, and I don't have any ill will towards the people who founded Tether, and I think they run a great business. However, Tether is great because it's called the U.S. banking system refuses to offer a similar product. So you have the people who own Tether, and it's a very small handful of people, make something like, I don't know, 4 or 5 billion US dollars in free cash flow every year, and they do all. And good on them for creating this product. It's basically an interest rate play. But they basically take dollars, they stuff it in a bank account, and then they go buy treasury bills and they earn the spread. Now, why the is the bank letting them do that? The person who's running that bank is a moron, because you literally, I don't know very many banks who have that sort of profit margin doing the same thing, because Tether cannot exist, and Tether and any of these other fiat stablecoins, the way they're structured, the centralized ones, cannot exist without a bank clearing and holding their money. Yet they make way more money per employee than a bank. That doesn't make any sense. So in my mind, at some point, Janet Yellen or whoever's in charge of the U.S. Treasury is going to say, okay, Jamie and all the other Muppets who run these TradFi banks, you are allowed to do a Tether. And they're going to be like, great, we're just going to offer a JP Morgan coin, and it's going to be used everywhere around the world. There's not going to be these questions about the legality or whether it's a security or whatever. It's JP Morgan. They run the U.S. banking system, right? It'll be used all around the world. There'll be none of these trust issues. And overnight, Tether has no more business, because you're going to use Tether or you're going to use the JP Morgan coin. You're going to use the JP Morgan coin. Tether has found a great niche because the large banks refuse to do this business. I don't think it's refused. I'm sure there's probably some political angle of why they're not allowed to do it. But that could change overnight, and then there's no more Tether, which is fine. We'll still have a stable coin. It'll still work the same way. It's just that these centralized companies in crypto will not be doing it anymore, and it won't be crypto people making this net interest margin. It'll be the same banks, because at the end of the day, they don't have any defensible business because they rely on the banks to custody their funds and allow them to trade debt instruments.
And there you have it from Arthur Hayes. He's speaking on some Tether FUD or Tether reality potentially that could happen. And if this does happen, what is this going to do to the crypto markets? It's probably going to unchain some things. And the bigger question is, when is this going to happen? Is this going to happen sometime in 2024? Is it going to happen sometime in 2025 towards the peak of the cycle? Could that happen, or could it happen in 2024 and will we not even see a cycle next year? There's a lot of speculation that could come into these stable coins, but one thing is for certain, it's going to happen sooner rather than later, because regulatory clarity is coming to the space, which is overall good for the space, but it could cause some temporary disruption. But any downwards price action that you see is always, always, always a buying opportunity. And don't let anybody fudge you out of your position. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Bitcoin's not going anywhere for the short to mid term. Long term, will it be here 100 years? Well, that's what the protocol calls for, but there is some, dark rabbit holes you can go down where Bitcoin could get, 51% attacks, but that's from the higher powers that be, but that can't happen within the next year or two, or probably even 5 to 10 years. But totally different conversation for a different video. Point is, Tether may not be around the next year or two. And will that be what causes the next bear market when Tether gets attacked? You be the judge. With that, that's all I have for you today. I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today. I'm out.